So I hope my previous shots, but the previous shot about the Illuminati and all those stuff, the stimulation and stuffs. I hope you watched it, because if you haven't watched it, you might not be understanding what I'm really talking about. And I'm really talking about how the people just, the people who you think are in control have used the button of brainwashing. So they brainwash the things, and they brainwash the minds of people, but all it lasted, or it left was the technologies, the ideas, the videos, or the fossils and all those stuffs. Yes, those things. So they have already used these kinds of brainwash button once. I believe once, twice. I don't know. I don't know how long they have been using all these stuffs, but I'm sure they have used it once at least. Like, I don't know the years and all those stuffs, but once they have used it, because the video that I'm about to share and that I will be discussing in the rest of the time is about the brainwash button. And here's the video.
All of what you see today are all just cheap knockoffs of the past, shelved until they could figure out a way to maximize profit off of it, while producing it as cheap as possible. Check out this 1950s electric skateboard, or even further back. How about the 1940s? Now, these technologies might not have been perfect back then, but it always amazes me how almost 100 years ago and beyond, their inventions just had so much more diversity and innovation. Here's the Autopad, the 1915 version of both electric and gas scooter. I bet all these two-wheeled scooters you see are much more durable and reliable than those lithium-ion batteries we have now in our scooters. The next one isn't battery powered, but it's still pretty darn cool. Just shows another example of the many different varieties of awesome innovations on two wheels from our past that all seem more solid and well built than any cheap plastic thing we get sold to us today. Question everything, friends.
This is a 1909 Baker Electric.
That's quite an ornate interior.
Well, here's the trouble with electric cars. The idea was they really appealed to women because at the time, the self-starter hadn't been invented yet. Steam was a hassle, and steam was dirty and messy and scary. Regular automobiles, you had to hand crank and bang and set the choke and work the clutch. These were popular as women's shopping cars. So what they did was they really marketed them to women. They made it look like a woman's sitting room. You had the flowers. You see, see the clock, and there's a makeup. But then the problem was, well, no man wanted to buy a woman's car. I mean, that was the problem with
Really?
it. But this thing went 100 miles on a charge. At the turn of the century, there were 15,000 of them in New York City. There were charging stations all over the city. This is your tiller right here. This is what you steer with. You release your handbrake and you turn your key.
And away we go.
So after watching this video, you should have thought that these things have already existing in the past. Why didn't they upgraded, or they wanted to establish all these stuffs? Why? But what stopped them? If they could reach in a stage where they can run a car or run something so miniature from using diesel or petrol or the natural gas, instead of using all these stuffs, and move to electricity. These things have been already existing, and somebody have used a brainwash button once, and they have all forgotten the technologies and knowledge they had, and they had to live once more. So they have been used it once. So all these videos are proof of the things that have been existed in the past. So while watching this, people who have similar thoughts like me, like I don't believe most of the people are stupid. So people who have a thought that there there is been some control of the pharmaceutical food industry, water supply, and all the things that humans use daily, there has been a control of it with some people, with some members of, let's say the Illuminati itself. So all these kind of things have been controlled by all these people. And if you see the game that I just shared in my shorts, you can clearly understand that. Their strategies of implementing a lie and feeding the lie into people and making people slave, run for money, run for the processed foods. They consume processed food, they get unhealthy, they had to consult a doctor and have to take medicines. They use internet and all those things and make a rotten mind with people, rotten mind of people, and they make the people fall into such a fake thing called depression. And they fall into depression and just they just ruin their life. They want people to always obey them. They want people to be their slaves. So all the things that is in the game that I just shared in my shorts, and there's been an Instagram video of it too, so you can see everything in detail. So if you clearly pause the videos and see and read all the stuffs in that shorts, you can clearly understand how crooked and what is actually their plan. And if you want to install the game, I don't know about the App Store, but it's available in the Play Store. So you can just install the game, just know their plans, before time. So just know the plans and just act accordingly. So all the things, I'm coming back to the video about all the things about the electricity, electric vehicles, and the scooters, the electric scooters. These things have been already there. These things are existing things. Where did it stop? Where did these things go missing? There's been videos of these stuffs. Maybe unclear, but the information is clear for people. So where did all these things go? Maybe the brainwash button, or I've seen a person in Iran made a car out of water. The car runs on water, and the person is missing, and you don't know any idea about the person. Maybe shot. Who knows? Maybe the people who don't want these things to go out to the public might have been caught him and just tortured him to death. I'm sure that this person is not existing anymore, because a thing like a car that runs on water has a big competition to the people who want to make the rest of the population in control. Because if these things exist, they lose their market. So or even in the electric era, they want us to use the electric vehicles and the economy. They have lithium factories. They have children digging the ground for them to find the raw materials of battery in Congo. There's been a video out. You can just search the internet and actually find it, or if possible, I'll just find it and share it in the video too. So all these things, the people who want to make us in their control are doing all these things. Exactly. So when you are have access to all this information and just fall into or or if you're walking into their slavery path, I cannot do anything with you guys. So if you're my follower, if you are the person who regularly listens to me, this is your information. This is your last bit of information, and I don't know if I would be alive in few days. I don't know. I've been leaking out too much information, I guess, and I'm not feared because all the video that has been shared in the social media is being shared in other medias too, which they don't have actually access to, which have access to the people who I completely trust, who won't betray me. All the videos have been leaked to other medias, which are out of their hands. Even if they have the most of their population control, there's lot less of the population which they cannot control. I'll tell you a person like Andrew Tate. I don't need to explain about him. He's a world famous, most googled man, and I don't need to explain anything about it. But the things that he did, the things that he is still doing for the next generation is so much good. Maybe he's a misogynist, maybe he's a human trafficker, but if you are not able to prove any allegations that you are raising upon a person, what is the stability of information? No, exactly. So if you're raising an allegation against somebody, you should have cut clear evidence. They brought evidence like some woman and all those stuffs, and in the end they actually told that Andrew Tate was a good person. Even they didn't expect this to happen, and I've heard him say that they have connected every single person that he have connected in his life, like every single person. Just imagine that. Maybe he won't even remember that he have connected to that person. So if you really wish to know all these things, just know before they. I don't know they would ban me or not, because I'm not that much famous, and I hope there will be a kidnap or I don't know. Maybe I'm missing on all those stuff. I don't know. Maybe this video will be removed from the internet, and then they kidnap me. These are the plans that these kind of people make, and even the holy book like Quran have told these kind of things. It's not like the technology and all those things. No. The God have told us that the way they think, it's like they won't even have any regrets or emotion to kill other people to keep a thing that they are in control. It's not like giving out a throne. It's not a throne. It is a disgusting thing. This is actually a disgusting thing. Making people in control, they tell you you have free speech, but do you really have free speech? Do you really have free speech? No. Are you really free to speak anything? No. If you speak anything, even if you post a comment that violates the rule of Instagram, it is a social media. Everybody watches it. It is a free kind of speech media. You cannot put any kind of words in that. So just be careful. Just be known about all the information that I just shared to you. So by knowing all these things, act accordingly, think about it, and by not just thinking about it, act accordingly too. So when you know these kind of information, you have to have the idea how to act upon it. So it's not the money that is in control. It is not only the food that is in control of you. No. They make you sick. They give you medicine. They give you water that is combined with fluoride, and which is extremely bad for your health and will be damaging your testosterone and increasing the estrogen level inside you, which will, turn you into gay. There has been actually a experiment which has been done with some frogs with the fluoride mixed water and the food kind of stuff, the food that is available in supermarkets. Those things have a thing called carcinogen, which it is not a carcinogen thing, it will increase some kind of carcinogen inside your body. So while buying all the foods or all the processed kind of foods like cornflakes and all those things, just check the package, just check the ingredients, and you can just Google. So if you Google the kind of ingredients, and if you just even Google, is this kind of ingredient good for your body, the Google will say that, of course. And you cannot always depend on Google. I'll say that too, because in Corona time, it's completely it was a fake thing. Corona completely was a fake thing. Exactly. Corona completely was a fake thing. If you just look up to Tor browser, or in DuckDuckGo, you can actually see some serious information about some serious people. They have been attending meetings, they have been attending conference, they have been discussing at a round table how to control the world. They needed a war, a kind of pandemic, to increase the popularity and they increase the income of the pharmaceutical industry. And I started to think it like, when did a person who only know about computers and technology move to a medical industry? Bill Gates, exactly. Bill Gates have invested billions of dollars in a pharmaceutical industry like Pfizer and all those stuff. And he have actually told that if we work correctly, if we work really hard on decreasing population, we would win. So just be careful about these kind of people who are on top. And by knowing all this information, all I want you is to act accordingly. Stay out. One more thing that I have to say to my fans is that I'm writing a book about JDY. So people who like my martial arts, please do subscribe, please do like my videos, and stay out.